Hey you guys, I am live. I'm doing a live project tonight, so say hi when you see me pop up. Don't be afraid to type in those comments, chat away with me as I'm working on the project, ask any questions. If you're seeing that red live button, you are live. If not, you're catching the replay. That is awesome. Feel free to comment as well. So tonight's project is inking a onesie, and what I mean when I say inking is that I'm going to use some of our permanent ink and our silk screen transfers, and I'm going to put a design on this little onesie. It works on all sorts of fabric, it's permanent, and it's washable. So it's so fun, it's a little bit addicting, and I love doing it. So I've got a white onesie, and I've got a red onesie, and for those of you who voted to choose what design I was going to do, most of you voted for the Sweet Cheeks one, so this is what I'm going to put on the white onesie, and then I've got something else for the red onesie. So this is going to be fun. So I've got my onesie here, and not absolutely necessary, but this really does help. This is called an ink mat, and if you don't have one of these, use some cardboard and parchment paper. Although this is wonderful because it's sticky, and so the fabric will stick onto it, stretch out nice and flat without any wrinkles, and makes it a lot easier to ink with. So I definitely am happy I invested in one of these. It's washable, you just reuse it for all of your fabric projects that you're inking. And you just put it inside of your shirt or your onesie or your pillowcase, whatever that you're creating. And it's going to keep your fabric in place, and it's going to protect the other side of the material and the surface that you're working on as well. So look at that. It's all smoothed out and flat and ready to ink on. So now we've got our winner design. I'm going to leave out the part that says hello. I don't want to put that part. I just want the Sweet Cheeks part. So I'm going to line this up here. And stick this transfer on there. When you're inking and working on a textile fabric material, you don't need to fuzz this. So if you guys know what fuzzing is, you usually fuzz on other surfaces on fabric. You don't need to fuzz. You want it to stick as much as possible. Makes it a lot easier to use, and the lines, all the shapes, the forms come out really sharp and clear. So one thing that I've learned is that I usually make mistakes. So one of the tricks that I like to use is using some tape. You can use our transfer tape, or you can use painter's tape. I'm going to paint tape over the part that I don't want to ink on, because I know myself, I'm going to forget what I'm doing and I'm going to ink the whole thing by accident, and then you can't fix that when it's on fabric. There's no going back afterwards. So I'm just going to cover over it with some tape so it reminds me not to do that part. There we go. Now we get our ink out. I am going to use, this is Couture Teal. Love this color, nice, bright, and cheerful. I'm going to use that for the words, and then I'm going to add a little heart on there just because it's cute. All right, so we've got your squeegee, you've got your ink, you've got whatever surface you're working on, and the transfer stuck on, so you're ready to go. You're ready to do your inking. And this is the most enjoyable, therapeutic part of the process. Hey Jen, how are you doing? I hope you're feeling better. All right, so I'm just spreading this all, making sure it gets pressed through the silk screen so that it adheres to the material underneath. You want to make sure that you just are generous. Make sure, because that ink absorbs into the fabric, a little bit different than a hard surface. So don't be afraid to add a little bit more on there. All right, now I'm going to, because I've completed that part, I'm going to slowly peel it up, and I'm going to watch and make sure if there's any parts that didn't come quite out clear, I can lay it back down and go over those parts again. So I'm just going to quickly and slowly, not quickly, I'm going to slowly peel it up so that I can fix it if I need to, and I'm just going to watch to see if it came out. That part looks great. Yeah, no, it looks perfect. There we go. Now, as soon as you peel off your transfer, you want to spray it with water, because if the ink dries in the transfer, it's not going to be able to be used as many times again. It could clog up the silk screen. So just spray it with some water, and then I'm going to clean it again right away, but that will give me a little bit more time to clean it. So here's the result. What do you think? It came out super sharp, and that's easy peasy. So now I'm going to look for a little heart to add on here. I've just been organizing some of my smaller transfers, so it's going to be so easy to look through here and find what I need. And I've got like my whole little section here organized of all my kind of Valentine theme ones. I've got them in order. Hopefully they will stay that way. But it will be so much easier to find what I need when I need like a little heart or something like that. So I've got some tiny little hearts. And there's like a little heart balloon that's super cute too. Sometimes it's hard to decide, there's too many choices. Okay, I think I'm gonna use this one. So I've got my little mini Valentine transfer that I can use the hearts from that. Now, this is still wet. So sometimes what you need to do if you're going to be doing different transfers, combining them, and different, maybe some layers, you need to use a heat gun to dry it first so that you don't make a mess of your design when the ink is still wet. But I'm going to just be super careful and just do these little hearts. I'm going to take that risk doing it live. Then we don't need to worry about the drying. And then I'm going to use my detail tool. This is just a smaller little squeegee. It's got a really small end on it that's perfect for these little hearts, so I don't accidentally get into any other areas. So I'm just going to add these little hearts here on the side, and I'm going to hold my transfer up so that I'm not touching the ink that I just put on there because it's still wet. So scoop up a little bit of ink, and I'm just going to go over these hearts. Just like that. Ta-da! Just a nice little touch with those hearts. Just to add even a little more cuteness. So that's it. That's how easy it is to do inking. You're done. Now you just wait for this. You give it about 24 hours to dry, and then you can heat set it with an iron. It's permanent, it's washable, and you can give it as a gift or make it for your own child. Or you can do this at the upcoming workshop that we're going to do some inking of sweatshirts. If you wanted to bring a onesie too, you could bring a onesie and do that there. All right, so I'm gonna peel this off and get out my red onesie. Carefully without smudging this wet ink. There we go. So there's that little baby. I'm gonna put it over to dry. And now we've got the red one. And this guy, so this is a Halloween transfer. It says radioactive, but I borrowed this idea from another designer. I saw that she used this on a onesie and it was perfect. because we all know how radioactive babies can be. You're changing them all the time. So I'm going to put radioactive on the front, and then I'm going to take this little warning sign, and I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to put it on the bottom. Super fun and super cute. So now we're going to throw this on here. Make sure to pay attention if you're going to be doing multiple projects. You may need to wipe this down if the ink has come through onto the ink mat. You just wipe it with a cloth and water or a Clorox wipe, making sure that you're not going to get ink on the next project that you do. All right. There's so many fun combinations for onesies, but this is a super fun one. So this is why I was like, I'm going to have to do this one tonight. But if you are doing a baby shower, this would be a super fun activity to do, and everybody could make a onesie for baby. And I'm just going to use white because I know that's going to contrast really well on this red. And I'm going to put this on quite thick because red is such a strong color underneath that I want it to really come out strong. There are times when maybe you'll have to do 2 layers, ink it, dry it, and then ink it again just to get it to cover really well. And this transfer has a pattern ingrained into it, so the silk screen is just not solid letters, it actually has texture to it. Ooh, that was close. Again, spray your transfer with water as soon as you've removed it so that you'll be able to easily clean the ink and it won't get set in there and plug up all the mesh. Okay, so there's that one, and you can kind of see there's that texture in the letters. That's supposed to be there. It's not a mistake. It's supposed to look like that, kind of a rustic look to those letters. So that's that side, and now I'm going to do the other side, do the butt with this one, but I'm going to have to wash this first. So we'll do that quickly because I don't want some of the ink to get in a place where it's not supposed to. So I've got this wet already. I'm just going to use a cloth to get most of the ink out. Flip it over. And there we go. That's all clean, clear. You can see there's no more ink in that silk screen. It's good to go and reuse again. Okay, so now this is the tricky part because this is still wet. Normally I would dry this with my heat gun and then be able to flip it over, but we're gonna see if I can do this without wrecking it this time on the butt. Right. So if I let it hang over the edge of my table, I think it will be okay. Try not to get it on myself. And try to place this in a spot where you'll be able to see it. All right. Okay. Shoot, I did get a little bit of ink on here. Not sure how that happened. That's definitely the thing that you have to watch out for. If you get it on your hands, you're gonna get it somewhere else. Okay, so I'm taking the little warning sign and I'm putting that on the butt here. Trying to get, don't want any little lines showing from my squeegee. Get it nice and smooth. There we go. Got it on my fingers, of course, again. So there is the back. Isn't that perfect? So fun. And then the front. Super, super cute. So we've got two little onesies. Air dry them for 24 hours, heat set them with your iron, and then they're ready to go to gift or to wear. So if you want any of these supplies, you want to make some of these, you can comment ink below and I'll make sure to help you get what you need. If you want to make some of these at a workshop, just comment workshop and I'll give you the info for the next local workshop coming up. And if you wanted to have your own private class or workshop or baby shower onesie activity, let me know. I can help you out with that as well if you are local. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this project and you will come back for the next live project. I'm going to be showing you how to do a sweatshirt. I've got my sweatshirt here. So this is going to be the next one. Stay tuned. I'm going to give you some options so you can vote again on what to put on this sweatshirt. And this is the next workshop that's coming up on January 23rd. So if you want to make your own sweatshirt, you can come to that workshop as well. So catch me on the next live. Look for the post to vote on what I should put on that sweatshirt. Have a good night, you guys.